me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
Tonight's Greenlight Maine is sponsored by MEMIC, your partners for workplace safety.
Welcome to Greenlight Maine, where we're growing Maine one dream at a time. I'm Don Gooding, and I'll be your host tonight when two entrepreneurs go head-to-head in front of a panel of judges for a chance to win at least $100,000 in cash. I'd like to encourage you to participate in our celebration of the talent, grit, and creativity of Maine's most promising entrepreneurs. You can learn more at greenlightmaine.com, and I hope you'll join our online communities on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To help with tonight's competition, we have a distinguished panel of judges. The far end of the table, Bill Watson, is the director of Husson University's Corporate Partners Program. So, Bill, great to have you here.
Don, thank you. It's terrific for Husson to be involved with Greenlight Maine.
Yes, it's an amazing set we get to do the show on. And then back for a second year as a judge, we have Amy Bouchard, founder of Wicked Whoopies, which is like the biggest whoopie sellers in the world, right?
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm wicked excited.
Of course. And then finally, also returning as a sponsor and participant, we have Michael Bork, who is Senior Vice President of External Affairs at MEMIC. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Okay, well, it's time to go straight to our first pitch. We have with us in the studio Chris Voynick from Wag-Rags. Take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Chris Voynick and I'm from Reedfield, Maine, and I'm the owner and founder of Wag-Rags. Wag-Rags are eco-friendly dog toys that I hand knot from recycled t-shirts. I started Wag-Rags 4 years ago while I was enrolled full-time at Thomas College as a business management student. When my mother told me to clean out my closet, I was left with a big pile of unused t-shirts. And rather than donating these t-shirts, I wanted to turn them into a buck or two, because after all, college textbooks are expensive. So through some trial and error and some research and development with my golden retrievers, I came up with the Wag-Rag. And what we did is we created a dog toy that is colorful, eco-friendly, and dogs and owners actually like them. Now, after I found out that my dogs actually enjoyed playing with these toys, I made up 2 dozen of them and I invested $5 of my own money. Okay, so this business started with $5. And I got a craft show at the Saco Art Fest in southern Maine, and I brought my 2 dozen Wag-Rags down, and within an hour, I completely sold out. I made enough money to pay for my booth, my gas to get down there, and Taco Bell on the way home. So I was one happy college student. However, I spent the rest of my weekends all summer long attending craft shows all around the state. Now, waking up at 5 a.m., packing a car full of Wag-Rags and driving all over the state is not every 19-year-old's dream. However, the time was extremely valuable to me because it allowed me to interact face-to-face with the actual end user and their dogs. I got constructive criticism. I even got some new ideas from interacting with these customers. So by the end of the summer, I had saved up enough money to attend a trade show, and this is where I really scaled Wag-Rags for the first time. I went to a 3-day trade show in Portland, and I signed 60 new wholesale accounts. So by the end of it, we had 60 independent retail locations that were actually carrying Wag-Rags up and down the eastern seaboard. Now today, I have a full-time job. I did graduate from school, so I produce Wag-Rags with the help of my grandmother and my grandfather, who are both retired. Wag-Rags has been in Down East Magazine as one of the 50 best made in Maine gifts. We've been a semi-finalist in Gorham Savings Launchpad, as well as made it to one of the final rounds of casting for Shark Tank.
Great. Bill, over to you for that first question.
Chris, very impressive. I mean, this is a product I could see my German Shepherd really adapting very well. Scalability, just a sec. How, I mean, let's assume you're highly successful. Production, what are your follow-on production plans?
Well, we've looked into different ways of manufacturing, and we looked at regular like textile manufacturing assembly line, but we actually, in one of my consulting classes at Thomas College, we looked at Wag-Rags for an entire semester and did a full business plan, consulting, strategy approach. And what we found is that we would, if we ever mass produce, we would look at retirement homes, halfway homes, homes for the mentally disabled, because the work is meaningful, but the work is also simple, and a lot of people can manufacture them. It's not a highly skilled trade.
Okay, Amy, entrepreneur's perspective.
Right. Well, gosh, I'm $5. I made $1,900 my first year, so congratulations. And I thought $1,900 was awesome. So I'm just so happy and proud of you. Now, what about expanding your product line? And it's kind of two little small questions. Expanding your product line, and how many jobs do you think that you would be able to create, say, over the next 2 years?
So as far as expanding the product line, we already have some things in the works. As far as keeping the same design, because we've found that they are really durable, but we've looked at taking other materials, such as jeans, and making the toys out of jeans to offer a little variety, but the product will ultimately complement the original Wag-Rag. And your second question was?
How many jobs do you plan on, or do you think that you would be able to create, say, over the next 2 years?
Well, I think right now, Wag-Rags is at a point where I'm working full-time, and my grandparents are helping me produce. I think that if we scaled, actually, I know if we scaled Wag-Rags and targeted Petco, PetSmart, and one that I've started is
Well, Michael,
BarkBox.
I got to give Michael time for his question.
Just quickly, what would you do with $100,000 to invest in the business? How would you?
Manufacturing. That's the one thing I do not want to do is get orders in the thousands and not be able to meet those needs. So I need to ramp up production so that then I can go out and target BarkBox, Petco, PetSmart, the large retailers.
Okay, I think that wraps up the Q&A. So we'll be back after a short break for a conversation with our sponsor this evening, Michael Bork from MEMIC, here on Greenlight Maine.
I'm John Leonard, President and CEO of the MEMIC Group, Maine's largest and leading workers' compensation insurance company. We're proud to help employers and employees work together to improve workplace safety and reduce costs. That's been our focus for 22 years, and it has paid off, reducing workplace injuries by about 40% while cutting the cost of workers' compensation insurance in half.
MEMIC, proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine, growing Maine one dream at a time.
Hi, I'm Lori LaChance, President of Thomas College. Our graduate and undergraduate programs prepare you for success in your personal and professional life and for leadership and service in your community. I know firsthand the value of a Thomas degree. My Thomas MBA completely changed the trajectory of my career, giving me opportunities I would never have had without it. Thomas College provides a great education that is personal, relevant, affordable, and guaranteed.
If any of you in our television audience has a big idea, we encourage you to visit greenlightmaine.com for a list of resources and information about starting your own business.
And we're back at Greenlight Maine for a conversation with tonight's sponsor. With us, we have back on the show Michael Bork, who is Senior Vice President of External Affairs for MEMIC. Thanks for coming back and for supporting the show.
Glad to be here. Glad to support such a great show.
Well, so MEMIC, people think of it as a company that maybe has always been around, but in fact, it was a startup not all that long ago. And one of the things I find fascinating about your history is how integral your customers were really at the very beginning. You want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. We've been around, we were created in 1993 as a result of a reform of workers' comp in Maine. But one of the really interesting things is our initial board of directors and our ongoing board of directors are policyholders of the company, so they're employers. And I think if you look back and learned about some of what they did in the very early days of the company, they looked at all the things that they saw from maybe other insurers that they'd seen in the past and saw what they wanted to fix as customers and made those part of the company that we are.
It's so interesting because usually you think of an entrepreneur, they've got an idea and they hope that the customers will want it. But here, the customers were actually there at the very beginning.
Yeah, they were the initial board of directors and the current board of directors. We're a mutual company, so they're in fact owners too. They have
owners as well. Interesting.
Right.
I wonder how many of the companies in Maine would think about their customers as actually being the owners of the company. It does change things quite a bit.
It does. That's a good question. I think it does provide you with a focus on your customer that that's really important. And part of what that model does, from our perspective, is we don't have stockholders to pay. Once there's extra profit, we return it to policyholders in the form of dividends.
Well, that's great. So I would imagine over the years, hopefully those have been good for the customer/owners.
I think very good. We've done $200 million in dividends since our early days, and a record number in recent years. So it continues to be a favorite time of year for our customers, November.
Yeah, that's great. So, and I think, as I recall, you started with a pretty modest amount of capital, which has grown quite a bit.
That's true. We started really with a line of credit for $500,000.
$500,000, not much, really, in the scheme of things. Yeah.
Right. And today we have total assets of over $1 billion.
And how much of that is from the Maine business versus, as I understand it, you've been expanding elsewhere?
That's right. Well, you know, the Maine business, the Maine customers own the whole company, so they're the controlling interest.
I see.
We actually write more in terms of premium outside of Maine, but the policyholder dividends that are generated for those Maine companies.
Oh, interesting. So it really is money kind of coming back to Maine as a result of
it. It really is. Angus King originally said, we're going to make MEMIC an export business way back when he signed a bill to allow us to do this. And it's turned out to be true.
It turns out to be true. Well, that's great. And as I also understand, you do things just a little bit differently in terms of helping your customers reduce risk.
Right. That's another of the ways that I think the early employers looked and said, what would we like to fix in the workers' comp system? And there were too many injuries, too many workplace injuries. And so what better way to do that than to prevent them in the first place?
So, well, that's great. So you're proactive, which you, again, don't think of as insurance companies being. They just kind of pay it out. So.
Right. Yeah, we spend a lot of time at customers helping them to prevent injuries, working with their people in their place of business.
Well, I want to thank you all for being a real asset for businesses in Maine, because clearly that's actually an advantage of being a Maine business, that they get to be owners of their workman's comp company.
Yeah, we think so. We think it's been a beneficial relationship.
Okay. Well, we'll be back after a short break for pitch number 2 here on Greenlight Maine.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Thomas Mosher Furniture, handmade American furniture since 1972.
I'm George Gervais, Commissioner of the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development. At the department, we work tirelessly to improve Maine's competitiveness. If your business needs help navigating through red tape and regulations, or is looking to invest or expand, our team of governor's account executives is a great resource. Government can't create jobs. It's our goal to become your partner, making Maine a better place to visit, study, and invest.
As a leader in Maine and New England in providing integrated accounting, consulting, and tax services to clients large and small, the team at MACPAGE has proven to provide innovative solutions to help us better meet our clients' needs. We enjoy the people we serve and care about the work we do. The success of our business is based upon our ability to develop quality relationships, one client at a time. MACPAGE. Accessible, approachable, accountable.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank Maine Startup and Create Week, a conference worth skipping work for.
And we're back with Greenlight Maine. It's a good time to roll out hashtag Greenlight Maine, because we're ready with our second pitcher of the evening. With us, we have Julie and Bill Swain from Dog Not Gone. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Julie Swain. This is Bill Swain, and we're Dog Not Gone. We manufacture a line of tick and mosquito repelling products for dogs, horses, and now humans. We feel that we are on the verge of explosive growth, considering all of the health concerns with Zika and Lyme disease. You can't pick up a newspaper or watch a TV show without hearing something about these diseases. And our products are all about prevention and are in demand.
The way our products work is we make our products from a fabric that's been treated with permethrin.
in a process that's proprietary and it's permanent, so it can't come off on you or your dog, whether it's wet or dry. And it's designed to last up to 70 washings, which is considered the life of the garment. And we also make our products in sizes that range from kids all the way up to 2XL to fit the widest range of consumers. And all of our products are outerwear items so that they can just be added to whatever you're wearing, whether you're going to go outside for a few minutes or all day.
Our products are now sold in small pet as well as feed and farm stores all the way up to large national stores. Our prices are competitive with Asian-made products, yet they're all 100% American-made. And year to date, our sales are 300% ahead of last year.
We've been able to do that because we purchased our own manufacturing facility in 2014. Then we started with 7 employees. Today we have 25, with over half of those dedicated exclusively to Dog Not Gone. We're beginning stages now on a modernization plan to increase our capacity and lower our overall costs.
Our biggest initiative for the next year is to bring around more product and brand awareness. Right now, New England is ground zero for Lyme disease, and the CDC is projecting to find the Zika carrying mosquitoes in over half the country. We feel that having a broader marketing campaign will bring about product awareness, consumer education, as well as take our sales to the next level.
With support of Greenlight Maine, we intend to embark on a multimedia campaign that will help us get our word out there and to make Dog Not Gone a household name for anybody who spends any time in the outdoors. At the same time, we're going to modernize, we're going to hire new people, and we're going to take our products nationwide.
Okay, great pitch. Amy, first question over to you.
Well, great job. How many people do you have working right now for you?
We have 25 employees. Wow. Roughly half of those are working exclusively on Dog Not Gone. We do make other products, so that we share them between whatever product is in most demand at that time.
Interesting. Michael?
Do you have research studies that show that this truly does work to keep fleas and ticks or ticks off of animals?
Yes, the military has been using this material for years, and they've done quite a bit of extensive research showing the effectiveness of the material. We feel very lucky to have access to it because there's a number of larger companies that also have products out there. So it's very effective, and it's a safe way to keep yourself, the ticks and mosquitoes away from you.
Very interesting. Bill, question from you?
Revenue currently.
Revenue between our manufacturing and the Dog Not Gone will be this year roughly $1.5 million.
And your projection for next year?
Over $2 million.
Great, so you've got some great growth.
We've been doubling every year, pretty much, and we're already at 300% tracking right now, which is with the addition of the human products.
Well, that's great. So I get to ask a question since we have some time. You talked about the proprietary process. Is that going to be a trade secret, or is that patentable?
It's the proprietary process does not belong to us. It belongs to the mill that manufactures the fabric for us. So they do sell this fabric to other people for other applications.
Gotcha. Judges, any final questions? Yeah.
I was going to ask, you used to be able to have a flea tick collar. Mm-hmm. Do you need a full garment to be able to provide the protection necessary?
You don't need full coverage. It repels the insects that come into the general vicinity. So as you can see here, Max, come on up. His dog vest right here, he has coverage around his neck area and the body. And as long as the tick comes in that area, then it just basically gets kind of like a hot foot type scenario and gets off of the dog, human. And we use these. We have headbands, hats, vests that are great for mosquitoes. And we have gaiters that are great for when you're walking to keep the ticks off of your legs.
I've got another quick question. Sure. So looking forward, how much of the product sales do you think will be from dog products versus human products?
We anticipate our human products will exceed our pet product sales pretty quickly.
Okay, well, we'll be back after a short break for judge deliberations about these two great companies here on Greenlight Maine.
Broadcast facilities provided by NESCOM, the New England School of Communications at Husson University.
In 1972, Tom Moser committed his life's work to craft, and 4 decades later employs 70 fine craftsmen and women in our shop in Auburn, Maine. With showrooms and customers from coast to coast and numerous awards and accolades, Tom has firmly established himself as an entrepreneurial tour de force and has proven that a life doing what you love is indeed possible.
This year's winner of Greenlight Maine will win this handmade Thomas Moser beacon box and $100,000.
The Amazing Music of Mainers is a 2-CD set of 26 songs by many of Maine's most famous recording artists.
I'm just a dime store hero, falling in a tag.
This 2-CD set is available at all Bull Moose and Maine credit unions.
I will take from the reach all that she has to give.
And online at mainvillepublishing.com.
You can help out if you want to. H by H.
Please visit greenlightmaine.com to follow the progress of your favorite entrepreneurs and find information and resources about becoming an entrepreneur yourself.
And we're back at Greenlight Maine. It's time to hear from the judges about what they think, and we'd like to hear what you all think. So please share your comments on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, Bill, I'd like to start with you, kind of the things you liked about these companies and things that might have been concerning for you.
Well, one thing that concerned me about both companies is the barrier of entry for competitors in both of their spaces seemed fairly open.
Yes.
It did. The Dogs Are Gone is certainly a little deeper in their business.
Right. They've been at it for a while longer, yeah?
Evolution. And I think I picked up from Chris that he was, he had this business going and he had started a second business.
Exactly.
So, I would be a little concerned about his focus on his. I think it's a great product.
Yeah.
I do. And I like.
Focus is important.
Yeah.
Great. Amy, some of your thoughts?
Well, I love the fact that Wag-Rags is made from recycled shirts, and so that whole recycling thing, and I think that people are just going to fall in love with that. I love the fact that it's 100% made in Maine. I think that Dogs Are Gone is also a great company. I think the name of the company is a little confusing as a consumer because they also have human products. So I think that they just kind of need to maybe focus one way or the other, or maybe change the name of their company.
So they got a branding challenge going
exactly.
forward.
Yes.
Interesting. And Michael, some of your thoughts?
Well, I think similarly, Wag-Rags, the idea that it's recyclable is really interesting, and he talked about sourcing through goodwill, which I thought was really exciting and interesting. I do think having just a single product is an issue. I think he needs to find ways to expand the potential products. They seem to be just the single toy. Dog Not Gone, I think that's very interesting. It certainly is an issue for dog owners and people. Everybody's worried about Lyme disease, and so that's great. I was concerned, on the other hand, that they don't own the technology for the fabric.
Right.
And what's to stop another company from jumping in who's already in the space and really driving it forward?
Yeah. What I also thought was interesting in contrasting the two companies is the consumer education challenge, whereas with Wag-Rags, you know what to do with it.
Right.
That's right.
And with the other, it's like, is this thing really going to work? So that's an interesting challenge. Any other thoughts about challenges?
I did like that Dog Not Gone knew that was their challenge and that's where they would invest this money in a PR campaign, essentially.
Yeah.
I thought that was smart.
So they were aware of their challenges. Any other challenges or opportunities you see for these two companies? Amy?
I do think that Dogs Are Gone. Am I saying that correct?
Dog
Not Gone. Sorry. I do think that I agree that that's a challenge that they're going to be facing, and maybe giving out, like I had mentioned earlier, maybe little samples of the material, and that way people can kind of feel it, take it home, test it out, see if it works.
Yeah, so that trialability, which is one of the key things for getting innovations adopted. That's
on the other hand, I think that's the bigger market.
Yes.
It's huge, I think.
Yeah.
I think there would be some great ways to, on a TV spot, to demonstrate that if you had a container with mosquitoes and you could put your arm in, you know.
I remember those kind of good things. You know, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
no Zika fly for me. Sorry, mosquito. Any final thoughts in terms of where you think the companies ought to be focusing in the next maybe 6 to 12 months? Bill, some thoughts from you?
Well, I think the Wag-Rags just needs to focus on Wag-Rags, and I
really make that into a big thing.
And he needs to focus on distribution.
Distribution, yeah, getting out there into a lot more places. Amy,
I
some thoughts from you?
actually love the fact that Wag-Rags has one item that he's focusing on, and he knows what he's created, and just kind of focusing on that a little bit. And he does have a challenge because he is working full time, and so he kind of does have to focus on what direction he wants to go. Yes.
Michael, quick comment.
I think that for Chris, the challenge on production will be an issue. He sort of was talking about inexpensive ways to produce, but ultimately you're going to have to pay people.
Okay, well, that's our deliberations. We'll be back after a short break to find out who the judges pick here on Greenlight Maine.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development, the Maine DECD, helping businesses and communities prosper.
Hi, I'm Lori LaChance, president of Thomas College. Our graduate and undergraduate programs prepare you for success in your personal and professional life and for leadership and service in your community. I know firsthand the value of a Thomas degree. My Thomas MBA completely changed the trajectory of my career, giving me opportunities I would never have had without it. Thomas College provides a great education that is personal, relevant, affordable, and guaranteed.
I'm John Leonard, President and CEO of the MACPAGE Group, Maine's largest and leading workers' compensation insurance company. We're proud to help employers and employees work together to improve workplace safety and reduce costs. That's been our focus for 22 years, and it has paid off, reducing workplace injuries by about 40% while cutting the cost of workers' compensation insurance in half.
MEMIC, proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine, growing Maine one dream at a time. Please join us to find vital information on our website at greenlightmaine.com and be a part of our vibrant community on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Together, we're building Maine's future, one dream at a time.
We're back at Greenlight Maine. You've heard the pitches and the judge deliberations. Now, judges, it's time to show the audience who's going to get the green light. That means Wag-Rags is going to advance to the finals, where 13 companies will be competing for a chance to win at least $100,000 in cash. And whether or not you at home agreed with the judges, you can go to greenlightmaine.com and vote for your favorite entrepreneur. We'll be back next week with 2 more exciting entrepreneurs here on Greenlight Maine. We'll see you then.
Greenlight Maine has been brought to you by MEMIC, your partners for workplace safety. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.